The CEO slammed his hand on the mahogany desk, his voice sharp enough to slice through the silence of the office. "Pack your things. You're done here." The janitor, Eli, froze with the broom still in his hand. He wasn't used to being in the CEO's office, let alone standing under the man's blazing glare. Just an hour earlier, he had been quietly cleaning the break room when a group of executives discovered something unusual. On the counter sat a row of tiny origami cranes, folded so perfectly they looked like they could take flight. The executives laughed at the sight, but when the CEO found out, his face hardened. To him, this wasn't art, it was a waste of company time. He stormed downstairs, demanded to know who had done it, and when Eli admitted it, he was dragged upstairs for the humiliation of being fired. Eli bowed his head. I'm sorry. It won't happen again." His hands trembled, but not from fear. Folding paper was the one thing that gave him peace, the one thing that reminded him of his late wife who had taught him origami as a way of telling stories without words. The CEO shook his head. "Sorry doesn't change the fact you're stealing time from this company. My father built this business from nothing, and I won't have it disrespected by childish hobbies." Eli quietly left the office. He didn't argue. He didn't explain. He simply placed his cleaning rag into the cart and walked out, his shoulders hunched under a weight heavier than his mop bucket. But what the CEO didn't know was that the next morning, his 8-year-old son, Daniel, would wander into the kitchen carrying something in his small hands, one of Eli's cranes. Daniel was a silent boy. He hadn't spoken a word since his mother had passed away 2 years earlier. Doctors called it selective mutism. The CEO called it his greatest heartbreak. He tried everything: therapists, tutors, even toys, but nothing brought Daniel's voice back. That morning, Daniel set the delicate paper bird on the table and stared at it with wide, unblinking eyes. He ran his fingers across its wings as though afraid it might disappear. Then, in the faintest whisper, he said one word: "Eli." The CEO nearly dropped his coffee. His son's lips had moved. His son had spoken. His eyes filled with tears as he knelt beside him. "Daniel, did you just say something?" Daniel only clutched the crane tighter and whispered again: "Eli." The CEO didn't understand how his son knew the janitor's name. But he knew, with a certainty that pierced his heart, that Eli wasn't just wasting company time. He had touched something deep within Daniel, something no one else could reach. That day, the CEO drove across the city until he found Eli sitting alone at a small park bench, carefully folding another crane out of scrap paper. The CEO sat down beside him, a man who had built empires suddenly reduced to a father desperate for help. "My son," he said quietly, "he spoke your name. He hasn't spoken in years. How did you reach him?" Eli smiled sadly, his weathered hands pausing mid-fold. "Children don't always need words. Sometimes, they need beauty, something gentle in a world that's too harsh. Your son saw the cranes. Maybe they reminded him that the world still has hope." The CEO's throat tightened. He realized how wrong he had been firing Eli, dismissing the cranes, crushing something so simple yet powerful. "Please," the CEO whispered, "come back. Not as a janitor. As my son's teacher. Show him what you know. Show him how to find his voice again." Eli hesitated. He wasn't a man of wealth or power. He was just a janitor who folded paper. But then he thought of Daniel, a boy locked away in silence, and he nodded. From then on, every evening after work, Eli sat with Daniel on the floor of the CEO's home. They folded birds, boats, flowers, and stars. At first, Daniel only watched. Then he copied. Then he whispered shapes: bird, star, flower. His voice grew stronger with each fold, like a flame slowly rekindling after years of darkness. The CEO often stood in the doorway, tears streaming down his face. For all his money, for all his power, it was origami paper and patience that gave him back his son. Months later, the CEO gathered the entire company in the grand lobby. On display were hundreds of Daniel's and Eli's cranes, strung from the ceiling like a sky of paper wings. He stood before his employees, his voice breaking. Some time ago, I fired a man for folding origami. I thought it was weakness. I thought it was a waste of time. But this man gave my son something I could never give him: hope. A voice. A way back to life. From now on, this company will not just measure success in numbers, but in the beauty and humanity we bring to the world. Eli stood in the back, humble as ever, while Daniel ran up and tugged his hand, whispering happily, "Come on, Eli, show them the dragon." Laughter filled the room. For the first time in years, it wasn't just a business, it was a family. And the message lingered long after the last crane was folded: never dismiss small acts of beauty. You never know whose broken soul they might heal.